Everybody, Tashina Gonzalez back here to share everything that I just shared with all my monolingual friends. So for those of you that speak English, I'm back to repeat what I just shared on tips for emotional healing. And so I found a great article from Psychology Today. Super excited to share all of this with you guys. Because a lot of us are experiencing trauma, right, with everything that's going on right now. So we need to have an active way to make sure we have a plan for emotional healing. And so, as usual, as you hop on here, give me a wave, a hi, hello. Let me know what city and state you are watching me from. And if you happen to be watching the replay, no matter what venue, if it's YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, hashtag replay when you watch the replay. So, this article from Psychology Today starts with, so what really helps us reduce our sadness, anxiety, and other emotional distress? We experience emotional distress in all sorts of ways, such as sadness, anxiety, addictions, unproductive obsessions, unwanted compulsions, repetitive self-sabotage behaviors, physical ailments, boredom, and various angry, bleak, and agitated moods. So, there's lots of things that can help us, such as we may actually need drugs or talk therapy. But besides that, if we're making an active plan for ourselves, what are some of the things that we can do? So there's 10 tips here that are super important to keep in mind. The first one is be yourself. You must be yourself. This means asking for what you want, setting boundaries, having your own beliefs and opinions, standing up for your values, wearing the clothes you want to wear, eating the food you want to eat, saying the things you want to say, and in 100 other ways being you and not somebody else or somebody that's false to your inner self. Invent yourself. Tip 2, you come with attributes, capacities, proclivities, and you are molded in a certain environment. But at some point, you must say, okay, this is what is original to me, and this is how I have been formed, but now who do I want to be? You reduce your emotional distress by deciding to become a person who will experience less emotional distress, a calmer person, a less critical person, a less egotistic person, a more productive person, a less self-abusive person, and so on. Love and be loved. Tip number 3. Part of our nature requires solitude, alone time, and a substantial, rugged individualism. But this isn't the whole story of our nature. We feel happier, warmer, better, live longer, and experience life as more meaningful if we love and let ourselves be loved. We must be individuals, but we must also relate. To both be ourselves and relate requires that we acknowledge the reality of others, include others in our plans, not only speak, but listen and make ourselves fit by eliminating our more egregious faults and by growing up. Get a grip on your mind. Nothing causes more emotional distress, point number 4, than the thoughts that we think. We must do a better job than we usually do of identifying the thoughts that don't serve us, disputing them, and demanding that they go away by substituting more useful thoughts. Thinking thoughts that do not serve you is the equivalent of serving yourself up emotional distress. Only you can get a grip on your own mind. If you won't do that work, you will continue to live in distress. Forget the past. We are not so completely in control of our being that we can prevent past sore points from returning. They have a pestering way of coming back up as anxious sweats, nightmares, sudden sadness, and waves of anger or defeat. But we can, nevertheless, try to exercise the past by not playing along with our human tendency to wallow there. We must tell ourselves to move on and mean it. If you have a secret attachment to misery, you will feel miserable. As best you can, imperfectly, but with real energy, let go of the past and forget the past. Flip the anxiety switch off. Rampant anxiety ruins our equilibrium, colors our mood, and makes all the already hard tasks of living that much harder. There are many anxiety management strategies that you might want to try, and I have tons of them, or I've done tons of videos on them. So if you're not following me on YouTube, make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube page because I have videos in English and Spanish on breathing techniques, cognitive techniques, relaxation techniques, an entire video on the art of self-care, and of course, using all types of supplements and vitamins and essential oils and things of that nature for additional support. So, in order to make the difference, if you can locate that inner switch that controls your anxious nature and decide that you prefer to live more calmly, flip it to the off position using some of these techniques. With one gesture, you announce that you will no longer dramatize, that you will no longer catastrophize, that you will no longer live a fearful life or create unnecessary anxiety for yourself. Tip number 7, make meaning. Meaning is nothing more arcane than a certain sort of subjective psychological experience. We can have much more meaning in our life if we stop looking for it as if it were lost or as if someone else knew more about it than we did, and realize that it is in our power to influence meaning and even make it. By making daily meaning investments and by seizing daily meaning opportunities, we hold meaning crises at bay and experience life as more meaningful. Meaning problems produce severe emotional distress, and learning the art of value-based meaning making dramatically reduces that distress. Let meaning trump mood. Tip number 8. You can decide that the meaning you make is more important to you than the mood you find yourself in. Rather than saying, I'm blue today, you instead say, I have my business to build, or I have my novel to write. You start each day by announcing to yourself exactly how you intend to make meaning on that day, how you intend to deal with routine, chores, and tasks, how you intend to relax, how, in short, you mean to spend your day. And you consider all of that, the rich and the mundane alike, as a project of your life, one that you are living with grace and in good spirits. You reduce your emotional distress by checking in more on your intentions and less on your mood. That's something that I definitely do. I always make sure I do my affirmations, so set the intention before every day. I actually listen to mine audibly. Upgrade your personality. You may not be the person you would like to be right now. You may be angrier than you would like to be, more impulsive, more scattered, more self-sabotaging, more undisciplined, more frightened. If so, you require a personality upgrade, which of course only you can supply. You choose a feature of your personality you would like to upgrade, and then you ask yourself, what thoughts align with this intention and what actions align with this intention? Then you think the appropriate thoughts and take the necessary action. And this way you become the person capable of reducing your emotional distress. And the last tip, deal with circumstances. Would you experience more distress sunning yourself at the beach or facing a long jail sentence? Circumstances do matter. Our economic circumstances matter, our relationships matter, our work conditions matter, our health matters. Whether our nation is at peace or occupied by invaders matter. And as a result of those improvements, we feel emotionally better. But we need to work on the circumstances that we can change. Emotional healing requires that you take real action in the real world to change those circumstances that are within your control. So that is what I wanted to share with you guys today. Tips on emotional healing. Again, all of us are going through a lot of stuff right now and need some tips on that. And so I found this article from Psychology Today and hope that some of those tips help you. And again, if you're not yet following me on YouTube, I have a whole section on mental wellness with lots of emotional things. We actually did a class this past Tuesday, so one of the most recent videos about dealing with difficult emotions. So if you want additional information, make sure that you are following me on YouTube and check out that video so you can get some more specific in detailed tips. As usual, thank you guys so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you next Friday for our next Feel Good Friday. Have an amazing evening, guys. Bye.